Hello, students for Business and Technology. This is Miss Tracy. Here I have a data table, and this is sales by week for 4 of the products that we sell in the concession stand. If you notice, on the 27th, we sold nothing because that was our pun party day and we did not have the concession stand open, so sales for that week are all 0. These are the 4 major types of sales that we do: bottled beverages, candy bars, cookies, and chips. We also have some other things, but their quantities vary. Some weeks we don't sell any at all. These are the ones that we typically sell every single week. So I've created this table for us so that we can learn how to make a chart in Google Sheets. I want you to take the PDF. You've got a PDF that has all of this data on it, and open up Google Sheets and create this table first. Now, you don't have to put in the yellow and all of the bold and all the grid lines. You can just type it in because you're not going to see it when we're all done. But what you are going to do is you're going to highlight it once you get it typed in, and then you are going to create a chart with it. And that is really all you do to create a chart. You highlight the information that you want to create a chart with, and then you click this little chart button right here that says Insert Chart. And then it opens up the chart editor and it gives you a default chart. You do not have to use that chart. You can change it in a variety of ways using the Setup and the Customize. So for instance, I don't want to do a line chart for this. That's just my preference. I think I am going to do a column chart. And I don't think that I want to display the candy bars and cookies on the same chart as the other. So I'm going to remove this and I'm going to remove this and just have bottled beverages and chips, because those numbers are much more like each other. So that's what I'm going to do. That's just my preference. Now I want to change my axis. Right now, this axis, this horizontal number is 20 apart. 20, 40, 60, 80. I think I want to do more like by 5s or by 10s. So that information is going to be on Customize. So I'm going to click Customize, and I'm going to go look at my vertical axis. And I have a minimum value and a maximum value, so I can set where it starts and where it stops. But I can also set my grid lines and tick lines at where I want those lines to be. Do I want them to be at 80? Do I want the step to be smaller? So I think I'm going to make that step, instead of 20, I'm going to make it 10. And as you can see, when I did that, it added in another line. So that's every 10 now: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So you can play with the lines here where it says vertical axis, your grid lines and ticks. Now let's say I want to show a minor grid line. And right now that minor grid line is set by default every 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Well, it's not really at every 2, is it? So it's at count. I don't want to do it at count. Count means it's adding 2 grid lines in between each one. So that's not really 2. It's more like 3 1/3. 3 1/3, 3 1/3. Well, that doesn't help me read the numbers very well. So instead, I want to set it to step. Step is relative to the value between each number. Count is the number of grid lines between each major grid line. So I want to step it, and I want it to be every 5. So that's going to put an extra grid line in between. So now it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So you can play around with these values to see how it works on your particular graph. Now that this is no longer all 4 of these, I need to edit my title. And by default, my title it's selected by what I had identified in my product ID here under sales by the week. I just want to change this to sales by week. And then my legend here, you can actually click on that as well, I believe. Yes, you can click on that and change it as well. You can make it bigger or smaller. This will actually tell what each individual thing is, so I don't need it to be in my title. I do want my title to look a little different. So as you see, as I click on different things, I have different options available here. It automatically will switch. So when I click on sales by week, it goes to chart and axis titles. So now what I want to do is I want to change my font size. I'll make it a little bit bigger. So let's go to 24. I think I want to use something a little bit prettier. So I'm going to select Garamond, just makes it fancier. And I want to use a darker color to make it stand out. So there's that. So now I have my chart fairly well formatted the way I want it. I think what I want to do is cover this up though, and I want to make this smaller. Now as I make that smaller, you see how this changes here. I think what I want to do is adjust this anyway. So I'm going to double click on my chart and reopen my chart editor, and I want to change how it's labeled. I'm going to change it to 10 so it's small, and this says to slant the labels automatically, or I can set the degree of rotation, and I'm going to set the degree of rotation to, let's see, 90 degrees. And that's going to rotate it around 90 degrees, so it's vertical here. So it's sideways, and what that does is allows my graph to be a little bit larger. I think I can make these bars a little bit bigger also, so I'm going to just click, and here is my bottled beverages is the series that I'm on. I think I can apply to all series. Yes, that's what I want to do. I want to, let's look at line thickness. Let's see if I can make that bigger. Oh, I don't know what that was. Let's go back to auto. All right, line opacity. That's going to be the, you know, how big, how dark that is. There's a line. Let's do 100%. There's a little line all the way around that, and that's what the opacity is. This is my line color. That's my line style. Before it was 0, so all you saw was the color of the chart. But what I can do is I can actually pick that series, and I can say, oh, fill color, it's blue, 100%, 100%, and I can change the line color to match the color of the series. And that allows me to just format that data point. Or I can click the whole series, bottled beverages, fill color is blue. So you can change the individual fill color, change the line color. Let's say I don't want it to be blue. Let's say I want that to be, let's make it this color blue. And I'm going to make the line that color blue as well, so it stands out just a little bit. And let's say my line thickness, let me make that 8, so it's a little bit thicker. You can even make it a dash. I don't know why you'd want to do that. But now my line stands out just a little bit more. I'm going to change this. This is like a separate data point that for some reason I had clicked on. But now they all look alike. Now I could actually change the red, the chips. I could make that pink if I wanted to, right? I could change all of that. Make that, oh, I got different colors. Let me get the right color. So now you see how you can adjust it. I need to see if I can adjust the size in between, what's in between the series. Oh, I see what it's doing. So you can just kind of play with all of these to decide how you want it set up. You have the font size, you have the label font, you can format the labels, you can change the text color. Maybe you only want that to be like a gray color so it's not real prominent. You can do a lot of things with your graph here. We reverse the order so that the most recent is first. You could put it back in the original order. You can change the legend. So here's the legend position. You could adjust it to the left. You can adjust it to the right. You could put it on the... Oh, that's interesting. I like the way that looks. It kind of groups those together. You can make the legend on the bottom. It's however you want to do it, right? You see this little line right here? You can actually just click it and click delete, and it goes away because you've got sales by week up here. So however you want to format your chart, just feel free to play around with that, to look at it, and don't be afraid to click and change and edit. It's perfectly fine. And if you mess it up entirely, all you need to do is click delete, highlight it again, click the button, and start over. And play with it until you get it the way you want to. You could even have one like this and play with it and then highlight it again and have another chart identical that you play with it. So maybe you have bottled beverages and chips on one, and maybe you have candy bars and cookies on the other. It's entirely up to you. But what you're going to do, let's just say I've got these the way that I want them. Let's say I'm going to do 2. So I take these 2 charts and I put them over my data because that's what I want to see, is just the charts. And that's what I'm asking you to do, is just give me the charts. And you could do that any way you want to. You could do it side by side, or you could do them in such a way. You could do one chart that takes up the whole page that has all the data on it. Or you could do a chart per item. You could do it on top of each other. You can do 2 and 2. You could do 1, 1, 1, and 1. However you decide to display the data, that is up to you. But I want you to understand the process of creating a chart and formatting it with the data table. Now, once you're ready to publish your chart, once you've gotten it the way that you want it, and you do want to have some similarity between the charts so that you can compare the numbers, because that's the point of a chart, is being able to compare the numbers. So if you have a bar chart here, you want to have a bar chart everywhere else. If you have a line chart here, you want to have a line chart everywhere else so that you can look visually and see the comparison between the items that you're doing. But once you're ready to publish and save, you want to click the print icon, and it is going to give you a print preview. So you have the option to adjust how it looks. You could say fit to width, you could say fit to height. So that gives you that option. Formatting, if you don't want to see the grid lines behind, you click, well, this is unclicked already, but this would allow the grid lines to show. I recommend taking the grid lines off because it's going to be easier to print and have it look the way you want it. You could do it portrait. You could do it landscape. If you do it portrait, you want to fit to width so that everything is included. You could have your graphs up here and have your data chart down here, your table down here. So you have some options with how you do this. The most important thing, we'll do fit to page. The most important thing, let's do narrow margins, and let's do center. Okay. The most important thing is you want to make sure that it looks good, what you think looks good. And you want to make sure that it is readable and understandable in regards to, when I look at this graph, do I understand what's being presented? Do I understand the numbers? Can I read this and know how much was sold by comparison, or how much was sold by number of each thing on each week? That's what you've got to be able to present graphically through this chart. Once you get it the way you want it, let me cancel this for just a moment. You can do a thing called print area, and I'm going to adjust this last column so that it just fits this chart. I'm going to pick up my chart here. I'm going to shove it in the corner and up top as much as I can. And then I'm going to take this chart line right here, and I'm going to adjust it right there, right behind that. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to unformat my data. I'm going to take all of that off so that no grid lines show. I'm going to take all of the color off so that there's nothing there. So no color. So now, whenever I cover this up, whenever you print it, there's not going to be any color behind it to distract me from what I'm seeing. I'm going to take this bottom row right here, and I'm going to adjust it right there. Now I could click on this cell, and I can go all the way to the left and all the way to the top, highlighting the cells that I need. And then I'm going to go to Format, and let's see where it is. Is it View? I think it's just Print. I think that's all I have to do. Let me look at Settings. No, it's not that. File. I think it's just Print. Let's do Print. What I want to do is center it to the page, and it's not doing that for me. Tools, Data, Format. Sometimes you have to play with things, ladies, to figure out how to do what you want to do. What I'm looking for is print area. I want to be able to tell it to only print a specific area. Now I know I can do that in Excel. I'm not sure if I can do that or not here. All right. I don't see it here, so it may not be in Google Sheets where you can actually do that. That's okay. If it's not there, it's not there. But what you can do is you can see here it says File, Download as a PDF. So you can do that, which is, fine. Or you can click the Print, which does the same thing, and then adjust it to where, doing it like this, you can see what you're getting. So I highly recommend going through Print, Fit to Height, which puts everything on the same page. Margins, normal, formatting, don't show your grid lines, center to the top. Headers and footers, you don't need any headers and footers. Let's not do that. Click Next. And then what it's going to do is it's going to download it, and it's going to open it. Mine opens it up to show me what I have. Let me close that. This is, I don't know if you can see that or not. This is what my page looks like, and I can print it from here. But this is what downloaded to my computer, and it's in my Downloads folder. So if I open up my Downloads folder, let me go up here to the top. There's my GIG sales sheet 1 through 2. So that would be the one that I would upload to Jupyter. Okay, and here's how I would do that. Let me see if I can do that. All right, let me pause and do that for you. Okay, so I'm logged in as the test student, and I'm in the business and technology class under graphing. This was the assignment you're going to turn it in under. I'm going to click turn in. And then I'm going to choose from this computer. My computer's taking a little minute because it's an older computer, just like its user. And it's taking longer than a minute. What it is, I've got a million things open, and so it's taking its own sweet time. There we go. Then I'll go to my downloads folder, and then I will click on the file that needs to be uploaded once it appears. I'll click on this file, and then I'll click upload. And then that is going to be what I want to see. So there's my PDF. Make sure that the file extension that you are uploading is a PDF. I do not want an Excel file. I do not want a numbers file. I do not want any type of spreadsheet file. I want a PDF. Jupyter will not open an Excel file. We figured that out earlier in the year. It will not open any other type of file. It says you can upload it in the help database for Jupyter, but it won't display it. It might be there, but it won't let me open it and grade it. I can't access an Excel. All I can do is download it to my computer. I don't have Excel. And then I can open it in Google Sheets and look at it there, but I don't need to do that. What I need to do is just get the PDF so that I can see your chart, because I don't need to analyze your data on this one. And then what I will see, let me show you what I see. I go to the graphing assignment and I see this little blue asterisk that tells me, oh, test student has uploaded their file. So I click test student, and here is what I see. It shows me exactly what you have uploaded if you upload it as a PDF. And then that allows me to then give you a score. All right, and that is how that works. And if I click draw on PDF, it allows me to then type good job or put a sticker. If you like little stickers, I can give you a little sticker on your assignment. Okay, and then I can make a comment here as well. But this is what I see whenever I open up. That's why I need it to be as a PDF, because then I can see it exactly the way you've done it. If you give it to me in some other type of file, I may not be able to open it up, and I cannot open a link because many times the permissions are not set correctly. Do not give me a link. Give me the PDF file that will allow me to actually see what you are doing and actually see your work. All right, that is how I want it. That is what we need to do. Go back and watch this again if you need to see how to do the charts in Google Sheets one more time. That is the assignment. Use the data in the PDF that is attached to this assignment. Create a table in Google Sheets or the spreadsheet software of your preference. It doesn't have to be Google Sheets, but it does have to be a PDF that you submit once you are finished. All right, and that's all I have for you today. That was plenty long enough anyway, so I will see you on Thursday.